Welcome to Mind and Body with Emily Bright, where we will discuss everything fitness and health to help encourage and support you through your transition into a healthier lifestyle in a way that's really fun and, more importantly, sustainable. And welcome back to Mind and Body. And today I'm going to be discussing how you can reframe your mind and 3 different ways that you can transform your thoughts and your experiences through the power of cognitive reframing. Cognitive reframing is what it's technically called. The actual definition of this is a psychological technique that consists of identifying and then changing the way situations, experiences, events, ideas, and or emotions are viewed. So cognitive reframing is really the process by which situations or thoughts are challenged and then changed. So it's a pretty big process, and it's something that you have to work towards to change these views and ideas, and it's almost like disrupting these thought patterns that we instantly receive and changing them into something else. So I'm going to be talking about that today, and hopefully it is helpful to you and that you get some value out of it. So the first way to transform your mind is the main topic, so the power of reframing. So reframing allows us to identify our current thoughts and experiences and what we're really allowing ourselves to believe in that moment about ourselves, others, and the world. And we can take those thoughts and beliefs and we can reframe them into positive and energizing ones that can help us create a new experience, therefore reframing our mind and our thought patterns. So, for example, someone may have the belief that they still have so much weight to lose on their journey and they were beginning to feel really discouraged. And I would challenge them to then reframe that to something such as, I am on the path to beautiful transformation. And every day I get to walk further along that path. And just that simple rephrasing not only puts a positive thought in our mind when it comes to like weight loss in our journey, it kind of disrupts that negative thought pattern. So that little simple switch in wording, it's just going to allow you to focus on the overall goal, yet still being able to be present in loving ourselves throughout the process. So it's really teaching our brain to reanalyze those thoughts and experiences and how to disrupt those negative thought patterns so we can replace them with uplifting ones that will help you enjoy the process of change and enjoy the journey of our health. And that's really the overall goal, is to enjoy it. We don't want to dread it, or we're just not going to do it. We're not going to be consistent. So enjoy the journey. Don't just focus on the destination. And of course, this takes practice, and no one should expect themselves to try to feel positive all the time. Sometimes we just need to feel sad or down so that we can pick ourselves back up again and be stronger than before. And just sometimes, we need to feel sad and we need to feel so that we can heal. So for a lot of other things, however, we can really shift that negative and energy draining thinking into positive thinking with just a little practice, a lot of self-love, and a lot of patience. So my challenge to you right now is to try writing down just one negative thought. And if you don't have a pen and paper, just think it in your mind. One negative thought you hear yourself saying frequently or thinking frequently, and try to reframe it into something positive. The key here is it should be realistic, self-affirming, uplifting, and there must be some part of you deep down that believes it to be true or that it could possibly be true for you. And you must repeat it as often as possible out loud and just watch what could possibly unfold for you. So maybe this thought is, I wish I could lose weight. I'm overweight. I'm not healthy. Again, what if we transformed that into, I'm not where I want to be, but I still love my body now and what it can do for me. And it is powerful and it will be healthy. So just those switch switches in thoughts and beliefs are going to change your experience because now you have a positive connotation with your weight, and you're still working towards something, yet you're still loving yourself through the process. And it may seem like such a small thing, but it has a huge impact on your mental health, and your relationship with your body. So give it a try and watch what can happen. So the second way to transform your mind and your thoughts is to be curious and not judgmental. So much like reframing, beginning to become more curious on our thoughts, experiences, and actions rather than being judgmental can not only improve your mental health, but especially the relationship we have with ourselves, particularly our relationship with body image and with food. So, what thoughts do you automatically catch yourself thinking when you maybe indulge in some foods that aren't in line with your goals? Maybe you hear yourself thinking or saying, I can't do this, or I suck, I'll never lose the weight, I can't seem to eat healthy consistently, this just isn't for me, why can't I do this? Why can't I be successful? Maybe you instantly lash out on yourself for eating that. Or maybe you begin to self-loathe or self-sabotage, and that takes us down a really slippery slope and into a vicious cycle that's really hard to escape from, as I'm sure many of you know. So what if instead of becoming angry at yourself for that choice, you begin to become curious about it instead? What if you thought to yourself, isn't it interesting that I was craving ice cream so much? Or isn't it interesting that I decided to have a treat tonight? I wonder what this craving is trying to tell me. By questioning a little deeper, we can truly get closer to the root of these cravings and what our body might be signaling to us. So the key is to do this lovingly, to be gentle on ourselves. The whole point is to try to avoid the harsh judgment and just to learn to get curious instead. And by doing this, we can learn how to control it better, and then we can gain a lot more of our inner power back. And that's going to feel really good. And again, it's going to take a lot of time and patience, but it's so worth it in the end. And the third way to transform your mind. So the last and final way how to transform your mind through cognitive reframing is a paradigm that I myself have used a fair bit over the course of my life and have found it to be one that is very difficult, but one that can be really transformative if you allow it to be. So this paradigm is there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. And what really comes to your mind when you hear that kind of paradigm? Does it maybe feel a little bit hard to get on board with? It should. It's meant to. So these paradigms are really meant to shift our beliefs in really powerful ways. And we all know that change isn't easy, or perhaps you've heard that phrase, change happens when you step out of your comfort zone. And it's so true. We need to be able to push our boundaries, push those beliefs and experiences to be able to make room for growth and new ideas and beliefs. So this paradigm ties in with the other two as we're again analyzing these experiences. And instead of allowing ourselves to believe them as being failures, we begin to listen to the feedback instead. So maybe you score on a test that wasn't what you expected, or a relationship didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, a diet didn't pan out, an exercise program didn't pan out, or anything you imagine that didn't go according to the plan. Now, instead of immediately labeling it as a failure, take a step back. Just take a few deep breaths and listen to the feedback that experience is trying to tell you. What in particular in that situation didn't you like? Have you seen something similar happen in your life before? What's the pattern? We can slowly start finding the connections between these experiences and gain more control over it. And we're doing this in a loving way, not a judgmental way. So, for example, you were trying out this new diet and things were going really well for the first week, and then you found yourself craving maybe all sorts of junk food, McDonald's, you were late night snacking, um, and it just didn't go well. And you fell off the wagon again. And maybe you felt like a failure, that you couldn't eat healthy and you were never going to be able to lose the weight. And other people could, but you just couldn't. It was not meant for you. So instead, what if you chose to think a little deeper about what happened during your diet? What if you didn't fail the diet? You only ignored the signals your mind and body were sending to you instead. So, what might your body have been trying to tell you if you couldn't last 1 week on this diet? What might it be saying to you or signaling to you? Perhaps it was trying to tell you that this diet wasn't meant for you, that your body didn't want to be on a diet, and instead it wanted a balance of healthy foods um, and other not so healthy foods to enjoy occasionally. It doesn't like to be restricted. It likes to be nourished, but also enjoyed. And what might that mean about you? Could you want to experience that in other areas of your life too? And by thinking this way, not only are we reframing our experience, we're also learning to love ourselves a little more by becoming curious, not judgmental. And we're turning what we thought of as failures into feedback that may help us improve in many different areas of our life. So I hope that this has been of value to you and you gained at least one little key takeaway that you can try implementing into your life right now, and these different ways to truly transform your mind and your health. So thank you for joining in with me, and as always, stay fit, stay healthy, and stay happy.